This GitHub repo just hit 52,000 stars. And once you see what it does, you're gonna understand why. We're talking pre-built Claude skills that let Claude actually do things. Send emails, update your CRM, post to Slack, not just write text, but actually execute. And we're installing the whole thing with zero terminal work. Let's go. So real quick, before we dive in, this is basically a skill pack for Claude. You drop it in, and now Claude can take real action across all 70 plus apps, Gmail, Notion, HubSpot, Stripe, Spotify. It's all here. And we're doing the whole install through Claude Cowork, so it's basically automatic. Mac, Windows, it doesn't matter. Just follow along, and we'll have this thing running in just a few minutes. And just as a reminder, if you do get value from these videos, just smash that like button, hit subscribe. It really does help tell the algorithm to share these videos with more people. We are on the GitHub repo. If you don't have this repo yet, you could either search for it, or it's also gonna be available in my AI profit checklist, which I will include in the description of this on YouTube. So we can go through this and see a lot of the different things that are already in this package. I know that things like the terminal could be a little intimidating for people, whether you are on Mac or Windows, it doesn't matter. I can get it. Terminal can be a little daunting. So we're gonna do it using Claude Cowork. So it does the entire install for us. No coding, no terminal needed. The only real difference between a Mac and a Linux install and a Windows install is just the file directory. It will actually function pretty much the same no matter which platform you're on. So I'm gonna come up here to the top and just grab the URL for this GitHub repo. I'm gonna come over here to Claude Cowork. Claude Cowork is a paid tool. You need at least the $20 plan in order to use it. It is one of the best tools that I have upgraded to in a long time. I used to be a very big ChatGPT user, and now I am shifting completely over to Anthropic because it actually does work for me. Well, ChatGPT is basically a chatbot now. And in all honesty, ChatGPT doesn't usually give me the right answer, but Claude does, so. So in order to install this, we're gonna need to do two things right now. We're gonna need to pick a place that we want to install it and click work on a project, and then we could just choose a different folder because I am going to create a new folder to install this into, which is completely separate from my other working folder. I'm going to name my folder Awesome Claude Skills because that is the name of the GitHub repo. Accept the permissions, and you could either do it always allow or click allow, and then it allows Claude to interact with that folder, which will allow us to install that repo. So I asked it, please do a full install on this GitHub repo. I pasted the link right here. I have my folder where I want it installed, and then I'm gonna hit let's go. So now we have Claude Cowork doing the job. It is now installing everything. It's doing all the work for me. I don't even need to mess with terminal. If you wanna do it through terminal, power to you, but this is just easier. And just like that, everything is installed and verified. This took me less than a minute. Here's a summary of what was done. It's gonna go through 31 top level skill folders copied to my workspace, including 864 total skill files. There were a few Python dependencies that need to be installed, and it went ahead and installed those for me. Nothing that I needed to do on my end. And it's also giving me a highlight of everything that is available right out of the gate that it could do. And if you don't know everything this package does, just ask Claude Cowork to tell you. I told it, tell me everything this package can do, full list. And just like that, it is going to tell me everything that this repo just installed into my computer. So it is telling me that there are 31 core skills in this folder: content and writing. There's content research. There's changelog generators. There's internal communications, Twitter algorithm optimizer. We have our design and visuals, canvas design, brand guidelines, theme factory, image generator, artifact builder, Slack gift generators. And then there's business and productivity, file organizer, invoice organizer, tailored resume generator, lead research assistant, meeting assistant analyzer, a competitive ad extractor. There's raffle winner pickers, and domain name brainstormer. I know that there's just in that so many things that I could use to automate parts of my business. And maybe you're like me and you like to develop your own AI tools. There's MCP builders, which that is a type of server where AI could talk to different businesses. There's web app testing, there's Langsmith Fetch, there's developer growth analysis, there's a skill creator, which is very similar to what actually comes with Claude Cowork. And then there's the Skillshare, and then there's app connections. And this is something that's already built into Claude Cowork. We can go to connectors and connect all kinds of different apps and different servers directly right here inside of Claude, Claude Cowork, or Claude Code. Because there are these connectors, it opens up the floodgates for so many opportunities to connect with different apps. It says connects Claude to 1,000 plus apps via Composio. And then you could also connect app plugins, which are kind of packaged versions of things like connectors and things that package an entire thing together. Of course, there's document processing, which is very useful if you are feeding it information. And then so many miscellaneous things like a video downloader that is actually very helpful for somebody like me that needs to reverse engineer or study my competitors. And then we got a nice template skill. So we can see this build is very, very useful. And we can now use any of these skills that they're talking about, not just in Claude Cowork, but also Claude Code, and build automations that could build our business for us and automate it. When I got started with Claude Cowork, I started to build a lot of these skills and things myself, which is completely fine. You could build these things from scratch, but this is kind of a cheat code. You're able to get ahead of everybody else. You don't need to build these things from scratch. What I'm going to be doing personally, you do whatever you want, is I am pulling these things and picking and choosing what I want to put into my build stack. Whatever works best for me, and I don't need to use the rest. I installed this into its own folder, and I could always just pull out the use case and put it into my own business. And if there is a skill that's not particularly perfect for you, you take that, you could tell Claude Cowork to modify the skill for your use case, and now you have a custom skill just made for you. And I know it still could seem a little complicated, but once you start treating Claude like a teacher, a collaborator, if you have a question, you ask it if it can do it for you, you're going to start working differently. If you don't know where to go next, you could just ask Claude Cowork or Code and say, how can I use these skills you installed? Give me step-by-step instructions. What is my next step? If you don't know what your next step is, just ask what your next step is. And within a few seconds, I have a response. There are a few ways to use these skills, and then it gives you instructions on how to use it. If this isn't the right answer for you and not the direction that you want, just ask Claude Cowork what to do next. Tell it that this is not what you want to do, and tell it what you do want to do, and it will give you a path on how to get there. And that's kind of what I was talking about, where I will be able to test different skills, different automations, and then take the ones that I want, and then keep all the tools in that stack always on. This whole space is moving so insanely fast. I could have only dreamed that I would have been able to install these things and use them like this. It is really blowing my mind on how much I'm able to automate in my business and still create high quality content. That's always been very important to me, to not just create AI slop. I want to create something good, and I want you to do the same thing too. If you want this repo, remember I am dropping it in my AI profit checklist. And if you do have questions, you could drop them in the comments. I'm happy to answer them. Let me know if you are installing this, if you're having Claude Cowork do it for you and install everything, no terminal needed. It's pretty cool, right? We are really in a wild point in history right now. So go ahead and install it and let me know that you did in the comments so I know that you took action. If you did like this video, you're probably gonna like one of the videos that's popping up on the screen right now. Again, my name is Jonathan Dunkerley. Keep creating, keep earning passive income, and I will see you in the next video.